Welcome back to this tutorial. So let's just get into it right away. In the while loop, just go ahead and switch these around so it's less than and then equal to. Sorry, I committed an error there in the last tutorial. Doesn't really matter, just switch it around. We still didn't run the code. And I have also added, prior to the beginning of this tutorial, I at the end of each one of these lines, just for the sake of demonstration purposes, so that you can see that I with each pass will increase. So let us conduct a first pass and see what happens. Okay, let's go ahead and compile. Yes, says nothing to do because I really haven't done anything. 11 should be A is greater than B now. A is greater than B and I is 0. So you can see that it's here, it's getting printed out and it's 0. So let's go ahead and continue the loop. Let's type in 4 and then type in 10. Should be B is greater than 4. Yeah, A is less than B, that's how it works, but B is greater than A. It says here 1, so it has increased by 1, and if I just keep on doing this, it's 2 now, it's 3, and once it reaches 3, it says game over. It can't go any further than that because we've just stated it can't go. The loop cannot repeat itself one more time because then it would be greater than 3, and it becomes greater than 3. This evaluates the false, and this entire loop gets terminated as it exits the loop, and it just prints out game over. Anyway, that would be the while loop, which you can use. We also have a for loop. So let's go ahead and actually let's reuse most of the code here. Come on. While loop, let's go ahead and delete that, and we need to delete the last curly bracket, and we're not going to have the I++ here, so let's go ahead and delete that as well. And we won't need the declaration outside here either. Now let's go into the for loop. Type in for, open parentheses, int I equal, now you can do this without any problems, int I equals 0, semicolon, I is less than 3, I++. And let's get onto the bottom. Okay, there we go. This will do exactly the same thing. Even to the compiler, it's pretty much the same thing. There's no the machine doesn't differentiate. I don't think it differentiates at all. There might be some slight differences between for and while, but I do believe that I have read many statements that they're pretty much the same as far as the machine is concerned, the for and while loop. So we're just using them to create repetitive action of something or continuous action of something. Anyway, let's go ahead and run this to see what happens. So Control F11, save changes. Oops, there we go. So it does run. Then again, the I is iterating, as you can see, and it reaches 2 because we didn't state that it is equal or not. We didn't state that it's equal. We just said, okay, I needs to be less than 3, and that is quite literally all. While I'm here on the subject, let's go ahead and introduce one more value. So another value would be float, another variable type, sorry. Let's introduce another variable type, float. That would be ABCDE. That would be equal to 0 point something. So if you want, you can put it in like this, so 10.3 or 0 point something. So this is just to write 0 point something, nothing else. So that's another variable type. Anyway, if you are uncertain as to which variable to use, if numbers are concerned, just use double. You can't actually, in terms of numbers, you can't actually go wrong with double. Next up, what I would like to do is just go ahead and show you a little bit about the mathematical operations that happen. So let's delete this. Okay, so if I type in cout, let's go ahead and demonstrate. And we're not going to need this last line either. Come on, that's going to need it. Here we go. Excellent. So we have 3 variable types. So let's see. Let's play around with them. Let's just give them some values. This is going to be 5, and this is going to be 2. So if I type in cout, and if I type in A divided by B, A equals 2, and B equals, B is equal to 2, and A is equal to 5. And if I do this, if I say A divided by B, okay, I would like you to take a wild guess what the result will be. So remember, integers can only be whole numbers, and we are dividing one integer by another integer. So let's see what the result will be. Let's go ahead and type in Control F11. Press it. Oh wait, did I do it? Yes, I did. But we need this. Let's do it like this. Now let's do the repetition. Okay, so A is 5 divided by B, which is 2. The result is 2. Now, as far as I know, 5 divided by 2 is not equal to 2. But you know, that's just me. I could be wrong. And the whole math of this world could be wrong as well. But let's just assume that it's not. Let's assume that the mathematics of this world is correct. 5 divided by 2 is not 2. Why does this happen? Well, everything, if you divide one int by another int, and if you get a result, something like 10 point blah, 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 the blah, blah, blah part will be gone. It will get truncated. It will be like it didn't ever exist. So if the result is 10 point something, 10 will remain. Everything behind will go away. I'm just using these numbers for reference sake. It could be any other number. It could be whatever and whatever. So this could be a result of integer division. And this whole number could be the result of integer division, but you will get this as a result and nothing else if you divide 2 integers. On the other hand, if we were to divide C by D, so let's delete this part. I really don't feel like rewriting it all the time, and I'm sure that you don't appreciate it either. You can see clearly what is going on. It's double, so C divided by D. So 10.3 divided by 62.34. By the way, when I say you don't appreciate it, I mean like you just find it boring that I keep on retyping the same things over and over again. That's what I meant by that. Anyway, you get a result 0.171. So you will get a decimal point. You will get decimal points here if you divide 2 double numbers. Also, if you divide float numbers as well. So please be very careful with that, because a lot of mistakes can happen with this, and you should be aware of these things. Also, by this point of time, if you haven't noticed, each line of code has its own designated number. in the error section, in the console down below, where the output is given, if there are any errors, it will report the line where the error has you will get a report where the error has occurred on which line, because it's fairly simple now. But imagine if you had 300 to 400 lines, that would be a nightmare. I have reduced the font size, but aside from that, let's just take a look at some other functionalities of the console, which we're going to need in the follow-up tutorials. So if I just type in while true, cout please can I sleep, and I don't know, let's add these exclamation marks. This is going to run forever. Basically, this program will never stop until we terminate it. So how do you deal with something like this? Continue to launch with the no. Right. The colon, semicolon. Okay, so it's done. Well done. So you have to press it in time. Basically, it's the let's think of a better example, because this is a really good way to crash a virtual machine. Just overload it like this. Let's think of a better example. Let's just type something in that will not be harmful in any way, because this will max out the CPU quite easily. It will just keep on printing the same word over and over again as fast as it possibly can, which is not a good thing at all. So let's go ahead and type in C in A. Basically, this program will not consume much of the CPU or anything. It will just wait for user to input something, but it will continue to run. Anyway, on the right side, you have this terminate button, so you can go ahead and click it, but you also have the clear console. So if I type this, if I press stop, we see this still, the program is not running, but this still remains. And I could just clear console, and it's gone forever. No more. It clears the console. It's nice, neat, and clean. Basically the equivalent of a clear command in Linux. Anyway, I would like to bid you all farewell here, and we will see each other in the follow-up tutorials, where I will continue on the basics. There will be a few more of these tutorials, and then we will actually jump into the keylogger source code. Don't worry if you don't catch everything. Don't worry if you don't understand everything straight away. It's okay. No big deal. Just ask in the discussions. I'll be happy to help you out. I'll be happy to explain anything that remains unclear. But I'm just saying, don't be like, oh, I didn't figure that one out. Oh, no, not this as well. This won't work. What am I going to do about it? Panic. Not good. So just ask in the discussions, and I will push you through it. I will help you out. No worries there. Again, you don't need to understand all of it immediately. You will, as we progress through the course. A lot of things will repeat themselves in one form or another. Anyway, I bid you farewell, and I'll see you in the follow-up story.